Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be looking at the new E450. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and link you to the Mercedes-Benz of Salt Lake City for giving me some time with this car. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Dylan. And then on a side note, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 31 on the highway, with power outputs being 375 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood on the new E-Class, you guys can see there's some distinctive body lines here, little Mercedes logo right there, and the blue paint on this is subtle, but it looks really sharp. Now popping down below, you can see the headlight design here. It's pretty cool there with the turn signal indicator. And then you've got the Mercedes-Benz logo front and center, and then a bunch of little ones in the grille as well. And putting it all together, I think it's a pretty good look for the new E-Class. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245, 35, 21 in the front, and then 275, 30, 21 in the rear, so slightly staggered setup. Taking a look at the wheels, you've got the silver with the kind of like darker trim there. I think it's actually a pretty interesting look. I don't know if I've ever seen a Mercedes-Benz wheel that looks quite like this. Now we've got the blacked out trim there on the mirror cap. You can see the door handles, the silver trim there. And if we take a few steps back, you can see the side profile here on the E-Class. And this leads us to the key fob. We've got our lock and unlock function. You got the opening there for the trunk, and it's got this nice kind of like chunky weighted feel to it, but we'll pop that open. So taking a look at the cargo area, it's pretty large here with the E-Class, which I think is one of the big benefits of the E-Class sedan. Obviously the wagon has a little bit more space, but yeah, still really practical. When you're all done, it's actually automatic to open and close. So just press that button and it'll automatically shut for you. Now here's a quick look at the taillight design. I think that's pretty cool again with the kind of like little Mercedes-Benz stars there. I think it's the rest of the badging here on the back. Chrome there on the exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the looks here with the E-Class. Now taking a look at the door panel in the back, you can see you've got soft touch here at the top and then down below, and I like the two-tone coloration, and it's a nice contrast to the blue paint on this particular E-Class. Anywho, we've got heated seats here in the back and just nice finishes in general. And then here are the seats themselves. Really cool cross-stitching design, and yeah, let's pop in. So now that I'm in here, solid legroom, we've got a little storage pocket right there. We got some vents here in the back, and then headroom's pretty good. The coolest thing about the back here is we do have a sunroof in the rear. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see soft touch here at the top, and then down below, same two-tone design. Like to look at the handle. All of your seat adjustments. We do have heated and cooled seats, memory seat functionality. Got blind spot ring with the mirrors. The mirrors also power fold in. Get a nice finish on the window controls. And then here are the front seats, perforated all down the center with that cool design. Got your lumbar there. And then we can see light controls here. This is cool with the wood paneling. And then you've got soft touch trim that goes all the way across the dash. Taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got nice soft touch trim all around. Of course, Mercedes-Benz logo front and center. There's a lot of practical controls in this. So we have controls there for the center gauge cluster. This is for the infotainment system. We've got our volume voice command controls on the one side, adaptive cruise control on the other side. Nice paddle shifters on the back for the 9-speed. And then you can see we've got the little turn signal stock, and then we've got a column shifter here on the other side. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you can see fully digital here, and we can customize it. So that was the classic view. I can go to sport view, for example. But I feel like with an E450, the classic view kind of makes the most sense with the theme of this car. You also have like nav screen and all of that. Like it's really cool. This almost doubles as like a secondary infotainment system in a way. Not quite, but close. Now we also have a 360 camera system here with the E-Class, and you've got tons of different viewpoints with the system. Really good resolution overall. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, you've got this shortcut bar here at the bottom to make it so you can access things a little bit easier. And then notice climate controls are always accessible. So they are in the screen, But
unfortunately, this function can't be operated using voice control.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anyways, we've got the drive mode select as well. So you can change. Oh, I pressed the camera button by accident. Man, I am struggling with this infotainment system, apparently. Okay, drive mode select here. You can go through the different modes there. Normally I'd cut that out of a review, but I think I'm going to keep that because I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, those physical controls are just right here. Now it's going to be hard to see because it's like sleeting right now, but you've got a heads-up display there. I already showed you guys kind of soft touch, and then we've got this nice trim on the dash too. It looks kind of funky because this is where they'll do the screen on some cars and fingerprints, sorry. Anywho, we've got the glove box there. See more of this wood trim here, and then we've got the ambient lighting throughout, which is nice. And I like the actuation on that. I think that's pretty sharp. Some cup holders, you've got the wireless phone charging pad, and then you press this and that'll open up a little center console here. Again, nice trim. And then we do have another sunroof up front. So here's a quick look at the window sticker. So it's a 2024 E450. It's got a few options added to it. Anyways, total MSRP is $84,745. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Got the heads-up display, both the mirrors. And then throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off in the E450. It's not up front yet, but they do have a wagon in stock. So when I'm here another day, I will do a review on that. I assume some people might want to see the E450 wagon because it's kind of like one of the ultimate daily drivers with the practicality that it provides. And with the E450 package, it's still, you know, relatively reasonable from a price point perspective. And then also the fuel economy is pretty good on those as well. So first off, seats are comfortable. Suspension's pretty comfortable. Kind of going over the little bump there. Actually getting up and moving, it's very comfortable with the ride. I think this is something that Mercedes has kind of nailed over the last few years. Like, Mercedes have always been comfortable, but it's kind of like you had to go to the top of the line with the S-Class or something to get like a really nice ride. But even the E-Class now, like this, I would say this is probably more comfortable than an S-Class just like 10 years ago. It's really impressive, the technology improvements. And I think that Mercedes is kind of focusing more and more on comfort to kind of differentiate themselves from their main competition with BMW and Audi, because both those brands are kind of more focused on sportiness. And Mercedes obviously has AMG, which is very sporty, but and now because I said that, it's probably going to try to, I don't know. But anywho, you guys understand what I'm saying with the improvements and everything. Yeah, it's so smooth. With the power delivery is solid. So we'll pop it into the sport mode here so that we can see what the full-on acceleration's like. And it's by the way, it's 38 degrees and raining. Great grip. This new inline 6 is great. When I say new, I mean they've had this engine out for a few years, but they're starting to get it out in more and more vehicles. So kind of new in that way. But it's a really good engine. It's got solid torque. It's got solid power. I'm still debating, you know, what I think about this compared to BMW's inline 6, because the B58 is such a hard engine to beat because it's so good. All in all, the new E-Class, it drives well. I think it looks pretty sharp, and it's a solid car. I don't really have anything particularly bad to say about it. I mean, it's got a pretty big price tag, but that's kind of it's kind of what these what's happening with these modern luxury cars. But let me know what you guys think about the E450. And I will say I definitely like this more than the 350 version. It's got a lot more power.